In today's tutorial, we're thinking deliberately and creatively about color, and I'll show you how that one small step can transform your art. Hello my friends, what's up? My name is Shayda Campbell, and on this channel we make art together and it's fun, not scary. So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, and that is creating and using a really thoughtful color palette. Considering color ahead of time is a huge part of what I think makes my art successful. I like really simple drawings and paintings, and a lot of my best performing YouTube videos are ones where I really took a minute to consider the colors, how they were going to look together, and how that was going to make the overall art or the video itself really cohesive and striking. So in the name of color palettes and how much I love them, today we're going to work out just a really simple piece of art, but it's going to be stunning and sophisticated because we're gonna think and consider the color palette ahead of time. You get it, let's just get started. Today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. NordVPN protects you by keeping your IP address private. Enable their auto protection with next generation encryption, and you can block phishing sites, skip annoying ads, and keep your kids safe while on their devices. When you're out and about or when you're traveling, you can feel secure using public Wi-Fi, and you can easily block malware-ridden websites. NordVPN is super easy to use. You can connect with a single click or enable auto connection for zero-click protection. I'm not usually great with this kind of stuff, and even I did find this was really easy to install. They have over 5,200 servers in 60 countries, so you can find a server near you for better speed or in a faraway location for more content. And speaking of speed tests have confirmed NordVPN is the fastest VPN out there. Use URL nordvpn.com/Shayda or code Shayda to get a 2-year plan with an additional 4 months plus a huge discount. So the color palette that I'm going to be using today is quite monochromatic. It's very simple. Everything flows really nicely from one color to the next, and yet there's enough contrast for me to really play with these colors and really draw anything I want, and you'll see what I mean. So I have 3 shades of pink, a magenta, a light pink, and almost an ivory pink. I have a really dark purple, and then 2 shades of brown. So everything is like on one side of the color wheel. Very, very warm, and obviously very much in the pinks and browns. So that is my cute little palette, and I think what you're going to see here is that I can draw anything I imagine with just these colors, and it's going to look really great. Now, some other examples of color palettes that you might want to try are like a modified primary. Instead of red, yellow, blue, do magenta, teal, and gold. Or try 2 contrasting colors. Instead of red and green, try like a magenta and an evergreen, something like that. So play around, develop some color palettes that speak to you. You could try 5 shades of green or 6 shades of blue. In this video, we're going to do a bunch of different drawings. Follow along with all of them in a number of different creative color palettes. And by the end, I think you'll really see the power of considering your colors ahead of time. Okay, let's get those drawings started. Of course, since this is a Shayda Campbell video, we're gonna work with lots of florals, things from the natural world, and I hope that you'll find these are just fun to follow along with, but they're not too tricky or difficult. For this first one, we're doing like something super graphic. So I'm drawing a bunch of flowers, some large flowers, some small flowers. I planned to do 4 or 5. I ended up doing 5. I always think odd numbers is a good idea as far as design goes. Then we're going to grab another color. If you're following along with my color palette, all the colors of these markers, these 6 markers, are listed in the description. So I am using the dark purple, and I am just kind of joining all these flowers together with stems and lots of leaves, sort of large and medium-sized leaves. So it's very, very graphic at this point. Then I'm taking this sandy brown color and I am just going to fill everything in. I'm working on 4x6 cards, by the way, and this is just hot pressed watercolor paper. Actually, I find it's really nice for drawing on with markers and brush pens because it's so smooth. But that's my first illustration. What I've done here is use 4 colors, and it is so simple, but it looks good because I thought about the color ahead of time. I know it seems like we're moving fast, but I don't want to bore you because this really isn't so much about the illustrations. It's about, yeah, I want you to follow along with the illustrations, but this is way more about trying these simple illustrations in a bunch of different color palettes, or doing what I'm doing and working through one color palette and almost creating like a series of illustrations. So for this next one, we're doing more florals, and this one's a little more delicate. I am drawing just 2 flowers in the center, and you can see I've used the really light pink. Then I've done some like really funny little pink flowers. I am going to use the magenta to draw some berries. I'm using brown, and I'll use purple as well for all the stems and leaves. So you can see everything coming together. And I do think this little illustration would look good if it was just, you know, a burst of different colors. But I think it really does look sophisticated because I have pared down the color palette. I only have 6 markers here, and you're going to see me draw 5 different illustrations, all of them a little different. And we're only going to use these 6 colors. And some of them, like the first illustration, only use 4 colors or 5 colors. And you'll see how far we can really push that palette. So there is my second little floral all done. We're going to keep speeding along here. And the next one is not a floral. Well, it's a little bit floral. The next one is strawberries. So what I'm doing is starting with my pink. Instead of red strawberries, I'll use the pink, and then I'll use that dark magenta to draw all the seeds. So if you're following along with the illustrations, just do a bunch of random oval and circle shapes, and then put these cute little chubby seeds on them. Then I need a darker color for my leaves and vines. So I could have grabbed the purple, but I'm going to use the dark brown. And then I want to draw some little strawberry blossoms. Of course, there are some florals here. So I need a lighter color. So I'm going to use the sandy color, or I could have used the light pink. It's actually amazing if you limit yourself to 5 or 6 colors. It really pushes you to think creatively, like, okay, I need a dark color. Leaves are green. Well, that doesn't really matter. I can make them magenta, or I can make them purple or brown. Basically, I just want them to look a little darker than the berries. And vice versa. If you want something to look lighter, it doesn't matter if the blossoms are normally white. Make them light pink. Make them light yellow, whatever your color palette allows for. This one, I also added a lot of pink to the background. I think these 4x6 cards look so finished and so well put together when you do fill in all that negative space. So consider giving that a try if you're following along, and I'm sure you are. Let's move along to our next one. We're going to do some market flowers, so heading back into familiar territory with more florals. And again, I'm able to use just these 6 colors to get everything I need. Now, I am starting with a brown paper bag, so that's easy. I'm going to make it brown, and then I am going to use the pinks, the really nice warm colors for my flowers, and once again I'll use the purples and browns, those darker colors, for my stems and leaves. So you kind of see a pattern forming where no matter what I'm drawing, I tend to grab the purple and brown for the darker colors, and I tend to grab those lighter pinks for whatever items I imagine to be lighter in color. All right, last one. We're gonna do another fruit, and this is a summer peach. Color is not the only design element that I'm considering when I'm doing these little mini drawings. I'm also thinking about layout. I want to fill in these 4x6 cards. If I think to myself, I want to draw a peach, right away I'm thinking, how can I make a peach look interesting? Well, I can show it two ways. I can draw the whole peach and then I can draw a half or cross section of a peach. And in that way, I can fill in the entire card. I've got more to draw. I can kind of angle them. So these tiny little drawings, while they might seem simple, they're a wonderful practice exercise. Not only are we thinking deliberately and creatively about color, but we're also thinking creatively and deliberately about our layout and design. So how can we fill in these cards? How can we make something so simple like strawberries or a peach seem interesting? How can we turn it into a true artistic design? If you wanted to create a greeting card with a peach on it, it's going to take a little more than just drawing a peach. And so definitely follow along with what I'm doing, but I challenge you to come up with some different color palettes and also, draw a peach or draw market flowers, but come up with a different way to do it, or 3 different ways. And I think you'll find this is a really wonderful exercise that helps you develop your own artistic style. And that's it for me. Those are my 5 drawings done with just 6 colors. I'm having a little fun here trying to play around and arrange a nice shop for you. And just looking at them, I think they look so pretty as a collection. I had a lot of fun drawing these, but more importantly, they challenged me to think about color and think about design. And I hope you'll follow along and try it for yourself. And just a reminder for my patrons, today's art has been made into a coloring page. So you can print it or download it and use it digitally. And you can work out just as many color palettes as your little heart desires. So patrons, head over to Patreon and grab that after the video. And if you're not supporting us on Patreon, consider it. It makes these videos possible. There's tons and tons of bonus content, and it all starts at just $2 a month.